Welcome to the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast. Here, you will raise your awareness to what is, and most importantly, what isn't working for you in all areas of your life, to identify your unique abilities and superpowers, to take purposeful action. We all get stuck, and now you can unstuck yourself with me every week. Now let's get unstuck, peeps. Hey, peeps. Welcome back. I'm excited to speak to you all today. Did y'all notice anything new? Oh, I don't know. My dope intro. I love it so much. Shout out to my brother-in-law, Ev, the creator. You can find him on Instagram. He's in the show description. He's so dope. And y'all know I say dope all the time. And he created those sounds. I got to share some suggestions and he made it perfect. I want to hear what you all think. That's really important. Send it my way. Either email me. If you have my number, you could text me. Instagram, you can message me at Crystal Clear Purposes. That's also in the show notes, so you can just click it. If not, just type in Crystal Clear Purposes. On Instagram, you'll find me. So hopefully y'all love it too. So much to catch up on. First off, this is our 40th episode with the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast. Shout out to each and every one of you who have listened to all 40 plus the bonus episodes I've had and who have shared it with other people. Y'all, we're growing and we're having listeners who stay and enjoy and binge listen. So thank you so much. If you have any topics that I haven't covered thus far, again, if you're telling me how dope my intro is, also share those topics. We've covered imposter syndrome. We talked about fear, doubt, and shame with money, having a sex positive culture. We've talked about so many different topics. We're never going to run out. Never. And so many people I've interviewed. So I'm interviewing even more people. I'm just really excited that the show is growing and you all enjoy it. And I'm growing personally through each and every episode and process. And it has been amazing. It's been more than I ever anticipated. So yay us, 40 episodes in. And yeah, so adding on to the excitement, I have now received my certifications. You may now call me Certified Coach Crystal. You can call me Crystal. But it feels amazing to know that I am consistent and that even though I had a minor hiccup, it humbled me beautifully. I haven't been humbled in so long, and now I have been focusing on trying new things, getting that heart rate up, maybe overshooting my expectations of, I'm gonna do this, and then maybe sparking something else. So I encourage you all, do that thing that you've been thinking about. Just do it, because the failure is actually in not doing it. And that's what I'm finding. You can always correct. You can always learn through the process. It is not to get it right the first time. And it feels good to give yourself that grace and that pass to be like, this is my first time. This is my third time. This is my fifth time. It's still new, guys. Like, who said you need to know how to do something the second time around? I mean, we could take it back to when we were kids learning to ride a bike. Many of us probably would never be on a bike if we just didn't keep picking ourselves up, putting some ointment on our scraped knee. You knew the goal was to be riding free. So keep that in mind. Also, I was a little bit under the weather, so I couldn't go to my dance class the previous week, but I'm feeling better and am so enjoying this pole dancing class. Got to spin. And it felt like I was on a swing or riding my bike, y'all. Literally. It's like, who has felt that feeling of just pure freedom and pleasure? Oh, it's so good. It's like if you like riding roller coasters and you just have that wind and just that light feeling of just being free, literally just free. If you haven't had it recently, that's okay. You're now increasing your awareness of, oh snap, when was the last time I actually had that feeling? I want to have that feeling. Start trying things. And remember, we're always learning. We're always learning. So even if it's something you did years ago and you've been wanting to do it again, but you did it and now it doesn't feel the same, yeah, it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Even during COVID, when it first hit, I wasn't going out a lot, and driving felt very weird to me when I would go out on the streets. The streets would be kind of empty, and that was really weird. Holding the steering wheel and it was just weird. It was very foreign to me because I hadn't done it every single day for months on end. So breathe, give yourself some grace, peeps. Bates Orthodontics pride themselves in offering a welcoming and friendly environment with top of the line orthodontic work. Bates Orthodontics in Chesterfield, Virginia is your one-stop shop for child and adult orthodontics. As a Diamond Invisalign provider, Dr. Bates treats more patients with Invisalign than any other orthodontist in Chesterfield. They provide excellent quality and professional care while bringing your best smile to life. Looking for orthodontist in Chesterfield, Virginia? Stop searching nearest orthodontist to me and contact Bates Orthodontics today. They will make sure you get professional orthodontic treatment you need in a welcoming and fun environment. Book your appointment today by calling 804-207-8219 or visit batesorthodontics.com. All right, this title, Control is an Illusion. Control. You knew I was going to sing. We love definitions, so we're going to define both of those words. Control. Good old Oxford languages shared that it is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. And it is shared in an example like this. The whole operation is under the control of a production manager, which leads me into the definition of illusion, a false idea or belief. So let's discuss the three areas in our life where we seek control. Now, as a reformed undercover control freak, it still pops up. I never liked the word of I'm trying to control something. I'm trying to control people. I hated it. But if I look at the facts, some people may not like the word control. So I'm going to not speak to your ego. Let's use those camouflage words of supervision or guidance or influence or highly suggested. None of us have control over anybody or anything. Let's be completely honest. We barely can control ourselves. We'll say, I have an impulse to make decisions really quick, or I have that urge to want to buy all the dark chocolate just because it's so good. And maybe I could just save it later. We're going to talk about those three areas in our lives where we have guidance or we strive to have guidance over. First one is going to be at work. The second, home. And the third, our health. So at work, if we go through the examples of how control might show up, you have your coworkers, you have your supervisors, you come in, you are very organized, you enjoy being trained, and you have that coworker who is lazy as F. Now, their perception might be, why would I run around all day when everything is already disorganized and no one is interested in structure? That might be their perception. So let's sit with this. How do you control your supervisor and or coworkers? I'm just curious. You have a way of completing the task at hand, and you can be an amazing employee. Maybe you are the supervisor, but honestly, how are you able to control others? Instead of looking to control, because control is an illusion, it is a false belief that you can actually control other people, especially at work. How helpful would it be, instead of control, to use a different C word, which is curious? How does my employees thrive? And in finding those answers, maybe you have someone who is very organized and focused, but since everything is so loud and complicated outside of them, they lose track of their superpowers and they're not able to really shine in organizing the department. Maybe you have someone who's very charismatic and they work really well with the patients or your clients. Yet you have them locked in an office with no windows and one light is out in the ceiling. And they just stare at that light like, why can't anybody fix it? I mean, I'm not saying I'm speaking from experience. I'm just saying, instead of looking at control, maybe your boss looks to you for help or that control nature. And you're like, I don't want to control anyone. I want to come in, do my job, and go home. Get curious of what is it they're needing so that you can thrive and what your skills and what your superpowers are in that workplace environment. So recognizing and being aware that control is an illusion, being curious can bring about opportunities for collaboration, for insights, for different perspectives. And it takes all of the pressure off your shoulders. You are but one person. And like I said earlier, we can barely control ourselves. So, how in the F are we supposed to control our supervisors, our coworkers, our clients, patients, whomever we're in contact with at work? Release it. Release it. And look at all the other options you have with the absence of control. And then you can decide how you want to proceed with that awareness. The second one, at home. So you have a partner, or maybe you have kids or a pet. Are you honestly able to control your spouse? I'll wait. And if you answer yes, we're going to need to talk because I'm just curious because I think you think that you are in control, but eventually it'll unravel because it's an illusion. Breathe. And now really think about being curious. What is it that you're looking to control in your spouse? Because I tell people many times when I'm irritated or activated by something that others are doing, it's something a part of me that I do not like. And it takes some time to see it, to feel it. So if you're thinking like, Crystal, no, my spouse does XYZ, get curious and see how that same action shows up in you. This whole process is not how to fix others. And me sharing my stories is literally helping me to address the things that are no longer serving me in this point in my life. And I constantly would say, oh, I really don't like when they do this. I really don't like, well, I want, when people procrastinate, especially people who are close to me and that I love and that I see potential in, I'm like, if they could just do it, like, oh, they would be so good at it. Finally, because I'm projecting, I kind of turned it back on myself and had an honest conversation. That's what I do. Why do I do that? And most of the time it is I'm tired or I'm nervous. I'm nervous to do whatever that project is or to reach out to this new person for a collaboration. It's based off of fear. And some people don't like the word fear, but it's something that is holding you back from something that keeps calling you, that keeps pinging you. And it could be, oh, I've been wanting to do that. Oh, I've been wanting to, oh, I told myself I was going to sign up for that. Well, how many times do you have to tell yourself before you actually do it? Is yourself supposed to then call place that you want to? Do you see what I'm saying? Where is the control? If we can't control our actions and we're constantly working on that, how are we thinking we can control other people? And that includes our kids. I don't have children, but I do know that each person on this earth has a purpose. And we each are someone else's teacher and student. Every person we meet has taught me something or has gained something from me. Every person you meet knows something that you don't know. And in recognizing that, kids, they be knowing. You remember when you were a kid and you would tell your parents something, but like, they don't even know what they're talking about. They just got a little piece of the story and now they're just running off with it. Get curious, not controlling. Who likes to be controlled? Does that make you want to gravitate more towards that person when you feel like they're trying to control you? No. So why are we doing it to others? And the last, definitely not least, our health. We do what we can with the life that we have on this earth. We work out, we eat as well as we can, we de-stress, we relax, we meditate, but nothing is guaranteed in this life. The only constant is change, not control. Recognizing that moving your body might give you a little bit peace in the moment, and eating well may make you feel lighter and just like healthier and just not as bloated or get the itis, and then you want to go to sleep. Making choices to try to control a narrative is fleeting. We think that control equals peace, but the peace is found in the being. Either you're being active, you're being yourself, you're being curious. Whatever that being is, replace the control with curiosity. And I wanted to share something that came from a meditation about control. She shared that only by accepting our lack of control, we find peace. And when we embrace the independencies that we have, it's easier to thrive. Stop forcing things. Stop trying to make people see your point of view and just be you and allow them to experience you. We have no power on how the universe may respond to our actions. We just be intentional, we be authentic, we be us, we be genuinely curious people, situations, life, and work with what you can change. Perspective. I used to think the person I worked with was lazy, but in actuality, they were bored. They were scared that they had spent the majority of their career stuck in this hospital. I used to think people who didn't want to talk to me or kind of avoided me didn't like me. In all honesty, my presence was so authentic and unlike what they've seen with other people, it made them uncomfortable. And I can't control that. How many times have we tried to conform and twist ourselves into something else to make other people feel comfortable? We can't control that. And not only is that control an illusion, who you are is being diminished in the process. Who's winning in that situation? Stay open to change and that things are constantly changing. Bryon Katie says, if you want real control, drop the illusion of control. Let life have you. It does anyways. Peeps, thanks for unstucking yourself with me today in your quest to accept change and release control. You have unlocked these insights and perspectives, which has increased your awareness around control. So you get to determine how control is and isn't working for you to take purposeful action. And the best part of that, do you know what that is? You get to decide what that action is for you. Journaling might be your action. Crying might be your action. Telling someone about this episode, thinking about it, listening to this episode again, or nothing. Taking no action is still action. Find which one works best for you in this moment. And it could change just as quick. Hope to have you back here next week. Until then, stay unstuck, peeps. Bye.